Okay, so a pot de crème is, in this case, think of it like a crème brûlée, without the caramelized crust that you get from the burnt sugar, and made with deep dark chocolate. So it's delicious, it's unctuous, it's rich, and we're going to make it in small portions so that it's not too much to eat. The base of it is a crème anglaise, or a custard, which is used in different kinds of desserts as well as in ice creams. And we're going to make a really simple version of that with some of the ingredients I told you about, the cream, the half and half, eggs, and then we're later going to add some other flavorings to it, like espresso powder and vanilla, along with the chocolate that we have here. So let's get started with our eggs first. I'm going to show you the bowls, 3 bowls to work with. One in which I'm going to put the egg yolks that we're using along with the other ingredients that we have to mix in. One to work over and one to store our egg whites in. And the reason for that, it might seem like a lot of washing up, but it's a really good way to do this because it prevents an egg yolk that might not be just right from getting into the dish that you're trying to cook. So you don't waste a whole batch of egg yolks or egg whites. You manage to separate them one by one and keep them separate until you're sure that you want to use them. So I'm going to go ahead. My eggs are cold. It's best to start off with cold eggs because the yolks and the whites are still very separate at that time, so it's easy to get them apart. And I'm going to crack my egg on the counter firmly, like that. It's better to do that than against the edge of a bowl or against the edge of a counter, because you don't get little shards of eggshell in your dish. All right, you can see here what I'm doing. So the egg white falls into the bowl below, and then I just pour my egg yolk into the other shell. You could also do this by hand if you prefer, using your fingers as a separator. And I just move it over until I've taken out the egg white, and all I'm left with is a rich yellow yolk. This recipe calls for 5 egg yolks. I'm going to put the first one into the bowl that I want to use, and I'm going to pour the egg white into my egg white bowl. I can keep those aside for making meringues or soufflés or an egg white omelet. There you go. There's an example of why you want to make sure to keep your work bowls separate. So here I'll use my fingers to separate the egg yolk, and there you go. You got an egg yolk. And I can pour the egg white into the egg white bowl. So this would be much easier on a kitchen counter. I'm using a table, so it doesn't quite give me the crack that I want. All right, I'm separating the egg yolk here. So into the 5 yolks, we're going to then add some dairy, as well as some salt, and we're going to mix everything together and get it in a saucepan and warm it up. And heat it through until it thickens for a crème anglaise. Yeah, I'm not getting what I want here because the egg yolks refuse to break as they should on a counter, but that's okay. My hands are a great tool. My hands are my best tool, actually, and so I'm using them to separate the eggs, and I get 4 egg yolks in my bowl. There we go. This one worked. And you want to make sure that your eggs are as cold as possible when you're working with them. So ordinarily what I would do is, once I had my egg yolks all separated here, you can see those, and you can see my egg whites, 5 egg whites that I'm going to save for later. I'm going to put some plastic wrap on them and put them away to cook later for lunch. But I would do the same with my egg yolks. I would plastic wrap them so that they don't get a skin on top until I'm ready to use them, and I want them to be cool. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to put them in a pan and heat them up very quickly, so I don't need to do that. I'm going to wash my hands and be right back. I'm back.